is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic. Yeah, with Jake and Tyler.
Yeah. What's up, Tyler?
What's going on? College football was on yesterday.
Yeah, Nebraska sucks. Moving on. I mean, what's new? We already know this story. We've seen this movie before. We know the ending. It is what it is. Okay.
Well, no, it's kind of indicative of that jackassery kind of thinking. That whole, if I act like a tough guy, everything will come out just the way I want it.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of the people that we unfortunately have to talk about are like that. And they got their folks doing their dirty work.
Yeah. Anyway,
did you know that we just call everybody misogynists?
everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody.
mm-hmm.
Also, apparently, the show has women that don't like it. We're talking about She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Dude, that's the thing. Is people don't understand when we criticize the people in the Grift report and all that stuff. It's not criticizing any sort of criticism, like legitimate criticism that they have. We're pointing out that they're using a grift. They're using a system by playing an algorithm.
And they write.
I get it. You got to play the algorithm. That's how YouTube works.
But they write their own out by saying, "Oh, it's shitty writing." And no, it's not.
They don't give examples.
You want to have an excuse so that people don't call you, but we see through that shit.
Right.
You're literally just mad because a girl got into your clubhouse, and that is.
And yes, I'm sure there's women that don't like the show.
Most 10-year-old thing I can think of to do, and these guys are adults.
I'm sure there's women that legitimately don't like the show. And I also know that there's women that are grifting off this too. It goes both ways.
Yeah, so we're
not doing that.
Good job,
later.
Jake.
See, we're equal rights in terms of making fun of you for your
we'll call ladies
stupid
out
grifting
for being
attitudes.
stupid grifters too. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that Star Wars girl later in this episode. She is one of the lady grifters. See, and. Well, we'll save it. We'll talk about that later.
When we get to it, we'll get into it.
This week's Grift report will be shorter because there's 4 clips, but they're all like 2 of them. All of them are under a minute, so you don't have to listen to them too long. And then I'm pretty sure 2 of them are like 30 seconds, so it's fine.
Oh my God! What? I don't have that kind of time.
I know how your head explodes after the first 10 seconds.
Well, some of these.
So
people,
if it's a
Jesus
full-on 53
Christ.
seconds, I'm imagining your brains are going to be all over the
wall.
wall.
When heel versus babyface, just
we'll talk about
right
him today.
Away, just she's a whore. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to hear anything else.
I saw somebody criticizing us because he's like, cow is a British slang for like a nasty woman, and it's like. It still doesn't make it not sound misogynist because you're calling a woman a cow either way.
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I made the mistake.
Does cow in England not mean fat lady? Because I'll bet you it still does.
It's really hard not to. I do my best. Like, in the first day or so a video is out, I will respond. But I'm doing my best not to respond to people because it's all the same shit.
I started to earlier today, and I was like, this is just, I could just do this all day.
Don't read the comments. Don't read the comments. Unless you can make a funny video out of it. Which
maybe. I don't know the technology. I'm such a boomer when it comes to technology.
Let's get it.
How do you turn this damn computer on? And what do you mean? What's Bluetooth? How come there's no wire connected? That's fucking 2037 futuristic bullshit. I don't even know.
I was waiting for you to end that bit because you yelled at me last week for interrupting you. So I wanted.
Well, no, it's just that one.
3 seconds. You would have given me 3 seconds. That was great.
Do you think they're? You know what I really hope? I really hope that some of these guys like put videos together of us. And like put just these parts where we're yelling at each other.
Hey man, I'm glad to piss off the right people. You know, that's what we're here for. That's what we do. But before we get into talking about things that we don't like on the internet, let's talk about things we do like.
Woo!
Let's talk about She-Hulk. Excuse Excuse me.
Episode 2.
She-Hulk episode 2. It's not COVID, okay?
I hope.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Let's talk about it. Very short episode. If you take out the recap and the main titles and all that, it's like 22 minutes, which is a pretty standard.
The first episode is about a half hour.
It's 37, but yeah, a good portion of that is credits, you know.
Yeah.
Something in that area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What?
No, yeah. No, you're right.
Oh,
It's about a half an hour.
well,
how many episodes?
But no,
6?
I laugh because it's 22 minutes. We think that's short because we have been spoiled with streaming services doing however long episodes they want to make.
Well, Stranger Things alone is
but
like,
that
what,
being said,
2 hours every episode?
That being said, this episode feels like a bridge episode, and this is why I don't understand why they didn't release like the first 3 episodes or the first 2 episodes, because this is such a, how do I phrase this? I think it's a good episode.
Yeah.
But it just feels like it's missing something. Like there wasn't.
It wasn't a whole lot of action.
I would have liked to see like another 10 minutes of this, but it just seems like it got cut really short. And I think that might have been an editing decision. I'm not sure. But I was told that they shot these out of sequence. And
I don't know.
well, the first episode.
How many episodes is it?
9.
9.
The first episode was initially episode 8. And then they're like, no, we need to get Hulk in here right away to kind of bridge the gap between them. But what did you think of this episode, Tyler?
I liked it. It continued the story of She-Hulk the way it is in the comics, despite what some might believe. I mean, she's just not even like the comic books. Yeah, I think it's just it shows a lot. Like, you have to have a character arc, and right now we're seeing her arc is somebody who used to be really independent,
yes,
and kind of in an under the radar way, and that's the way she liked it. And you see this episode, she's kind of getting into and getting used to, and you'll see probably next week and as it moves on, she's getting to like being She-Hulk.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm imagining next episode is when she's going to start going on dates and stuff. As
Well,
She-Hulk.
like, imagine if I got like a dose of gamma and then all of a sudden like I could turn into The Rock. You know what I mean?
It's super jacked and
Dude, anywhere that I would go, like a handsome, jacked up dude, women would just be like, well, people in general would just be like, holy shit, and want to be around that. And yeah, I would like it for a little bit. It would definitely be, especially like, I kind of go under the radar anyway. I don't really like being in public that much. I don't really like human beings. I really don't. But I think that's kind of the same way Jennifer Walters is. She's kind of, deals with.
She doesn't like fame, and
deals
she wants to
with
keep her head
when
down.
she needs to. Yeah,
and do her job.
Yeah.
Be an honest lawyer and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting too.
But eventually, I
dynamic.
think I would hate it after a little while. If I walked into a place and people were like, "Turn into that thing," I'd be like,
yeah, nobody cares about you.
Right.
They want to see She-Hulk.
But I think, she's going to have this character arc where she's like, okay, well, I got to reconcile the fact that I kind of like that, but also that I don't this part of it.
And this is what I'm saying is like, this is what frustrates me.
Which is right from the comic books.
Yes, exactly. And that's like you just said, the comic books, people misinterpret her controlling her, like being able to control the transformation. Again, are missing the point that this is going to be the same as Bruce's arc, but in reverse.
Right.
Like, she is, like you said, and it's been down in the comics, she's going to turn into smart She-Hulk.
She has from the beginning.
And yeah, sorry, that's not the proper thing to say, because she already has her wits about her when she's...
Well, maybe the
Hulk.
first couple of times, like in the series, she doesn't
that's what
know.
I mean, is that's the arc she's going on. She's going to
Right.
have to merge the personalities. While she tried to... And that's, again, what people are missing the point because of their stupid politics of what she said about the catcalling scene. What she is saying right there to Bruce is, I'm better than you. And she believes that, even though Bruce is trying to tell her, you still don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand how people could view how Bruce was ignored in that sequence, when in reality, it wasn't his sequence to begin with.
Did you like the guy who said that Hulk is a dumpster character now?
Yeah.
How so?
But that's the whole.
Did you see
but
the
that's
big
the
old
whole arc,
spaceship
is
in the middle of the fucking?
She's gonna be arrogant. She's gonna be
Yes.
like this, and she's gonna get humbled, and she's gonna have to learn that She-Hulk is an example of how she can be strong and confident,
And also
and
how she could possibly screw things up real
and not
bad.
hurt people,
Right.
and not be arrogant, and think and listen. That was the thing, and.
She's basically going to go through the with great power comes great responsibility arc.
You're seeing,
just like fucking Spider-Man.
Exactly what I told you was going to happen
Yes.
with this story arc is in this second episode, she only gets a job because she's She-Hulk.
Yes.
And I said, She-Hulk is going to be the one that everybody loves, and nobody's going to care about Jen anymore, and that's going to be the conflict. And we already saw it here in the second episode.
Exact opposite of
the Hulk. Which I thought that whole sequence...
You ready to say it with me? Just like in the comics. Go. I was right there, man. Wow.
I'm not doing it again. I like how you said wow to see if I would do it. Like, wow.
So yeah, we got this weird dial on the board. Yeah.
I've never changed it. It's been stuck on this one. It's been like that since I got it. I just never have changed it.
I changed it a bunch of times. So when you first got it.
Oh, well, maybe you did this. We haven't even played with all of them.
Yeah. So what's this one? What's this one? They seem like they're all.
Yeah. Anyway, back to She-Hulk. But what
Repeaters.
I liked with this episode, right out of the gate, it kind of telegraphs that too, because when she walks into the bar, they're like, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
She has to change. But the name joke, I really hope they don't do that anymore. The whole She-Hulk jokes, like the name. Because we see that too much in Marvel shows.
By the end of it, she seemed to be fine with it.
Yeah, but I think that's what they're saying in that episode. I don't think that joke will be there anymore. It's just, to me, it's like we already have enough of those jokes in the Marvel universe of, what's your real name? What's your name? Otto Octavius. And yeah, it's a dumb name, but like, you guys have mocked names long enough. I feel like we can kind of move on from
why
that.
are you shitting on the proper,
Yes, the names are stupid. That's the part of the fun of comic books,
Right.
is the silliness of it.
I liked how when she had to transform back into Jen, and she
got drunk right away. That was great. Yeah,
that was pretty
because
funny.
she could drink as much, much
yeah.
when she's She-Hulk. That was I love that bit.
That was funny.
Apparently, on the TV screen in the bar, it's Ally McBeal. So somebody said that online.
Can we talk about the big Easter egg?
I want to get to that. I want to talk about. I do want to
finish
talk
the episode first.
I really enjoyed that relationship with her and her dad. I thought that was cool. I like that her
cousin
dad.
Larry from Perfect Strangers. You guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you remember that shit? No,
I
you're
never watched.
Really young.
I watched Stranger Things. If that makes sense.
No, it's not even,
not even close.
Well, Stranger Things might be ripping off Perfect Strangers at some point.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey Jake, I'm gonna watch Stranger Things. Oh, just kidding. I canceled my Netflix subscription.
I haven't had one. To be fair, I haven't had a Netflix subscription for like 2 years. There's nothing really on Netflix that I want to watch.
Netflix is one of the few that I actually pay for. I usually just mooch off my in-laws.
When they finally get Better Call Saul, the final season, maybe I'll get it again.
I want to watch that and then watch Breaking Bad because I haven't watched Better Call.
I would actually suggest and
different lawyer show. Back to She-Hulk.
We will, but I would
Come
suggest watching Breaking Bad first.
No,
and then
I've already seen Breaking Bad.
Oh,
I just never seen Better Call Saul.
well, fuck you. Let's go.
So I'll watch it in the order that it's meant because it's prequel, motherfucker. But I did like her relationship with her dad and the fact that he lied about having her help with something just so he could get her out of the room and just talk to her like, hey, what's really going on? Like, that was such a really good father-daughter moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that they're like, who would have thought that our family would have 2 Hulks, and just jokes about that. And it's interesting because, again, it's playing up to Jen still not being comfortable with in her own skin, because all they talk about is She-Hulk at dinner, and she's just like, I'm here.
Promoted to Best Buy. Good job, Chad.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my job. Which, okay, the excuse for firing her I thought was kind of lame, And then just terms of it made sense. I'm not saying that.
Here's the thing that
I just thought it was lame that those guys would do that.
That's happened in the comic books before. In fact, in the John Byrne run, that happens at one point. Well, not during his run, but during that series. It's always been a source of contention and a source of story fodder for She-Hulk writers that occasionally she'll have a conflict of interest type of thing, where I know in one story specifically, she ends up during a fight, or during a court summation, whatever, she has to go out and help the Avengers defeat like whoever.
Yeah.
And then she goes back into court and stuff, and the other lawyer argues for a mistrial. Because how can the jury not be sympathetic to her?
Yeah, she's a hero.
Right. And there's...
and again...
For a long time, she didn't have a job in the Marvel Universe, in the comics, because nobody would hire her because of that.
Logically and narratively, it makes sense. I just think it was lame.
And
it's like...
Honestly, no, legally in this country, that would totally make sense.
And again, he did the right decision.
Yep.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, fuck those dudes.
But yeah, she would get fired in the real world too.
Yeah, no, it would happen, especially in this world. But so yeah, then she gets the job at the Superhuman Law firm, or she is the one who starts Superhuman Law. He's like, "Oh, I need you to be She-Hulk the whole time, because that's what's happening." Does this show have a little bit of elements of laying it on thick with their messaging? It does, because there's the obvious shot of a bunch of dudes laughing in a boardroom. It's like the same shot we've seen before, and I was like, okay. So it was like I'm just saying there are examples that the show can be virtue signaling. It is.
Can I just say, as a human being, I don't think any boardroom full of dudes laughing is a good thing. I've been in boardrooms with all dudes laughing, and it sucks, and those guys suck. And they might be making a joke or maybe laying it on thick, if you will, but I had no problem with it, because honestly, if I was walking past that, that's exactly how I would see it. Why? Because those guys suck. That's why they're all in a boardroom together. Nobody else can fucking stand them.
I'm just coming at it from like, it just seems like a cliche.
I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck it, because honestly, let's stop. You know what? Let's get off the train. Let's stop pretending some shit here. Let's stop pretending that all guys deserve the benefit of the doubt. Fuck you. No, you fucking don't. No, you fucking don't, okay? No, you don't. So if I see a big old room full of fucking dudes, especially white dudes all laughing, you know what? Fucking keep me away from that shit. Because you know what? Most guys are fucking shitheads. There you go. So I have no problem with this woman show, whatever you want to call it, or if somebody else calls it that. I'm not saying you specifically, because you know it's out there. Fuck you. Just because that's like saying, what was it that we were talking about something, and I was like, that's like saying like all deaf people are like virtuous people, because you know what I mean. Like just because they have a disability doesn't mean they're like automatically good people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm tired of this bullshit from all corners of the male community of, hey, what makes us. Everything, every action, every fucking thing you've said, everything that you've fucking built around us, this stupid fucking male-dominated society that says, hey, don't think about sex, and then here's a commercial about sex. You're fucking awful. We're awful. We're shitty. We're shitty. Guys are shitty. Thank you. I'm done.
You sound like a male feminist cuck.
I'm fucking telling it like it is. I'm tired of these guys being like, hey, just because I have a dick and balls doesn't mean I'm bad. You know what? If you act bad, yes. And it has nothing to do with your genitalia. But if you act bad, you are a dick. And most guys that I know are dicks. They're shitty. That's why I don't have a lot of friends. I don't want to be around people.
You're great at parties.
Fucking Christ, man! Just
all I was saying is it seemed cliche to me.
Totally know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going off on that so much as I was going off on a lot of this. What?
And if I'm being honest, it's a nitpicky thing. It really didn't bother me. I was just saying like,
yeah,
okay,
and I wasn't saying
that. Just
that
seems like it's like this. It's like,
and I can absolutely see how somebody would look at it and be like, okay,
but they're just hitting a beat. Like,
sure,
that's what I mean. It's like, okay, we got to hit the beats of like, okay. she's getting the job, but she's not really getting the job.
Let me ask you
She-Hulk's getting the
something.
job.
When the fucking mansplaining douchebag comes up and goes, "Hey, there's a hot chick over there. I'm going to talk to it." Did you think that was?
Yikes! That was.
No. Did you think that was the same thing? Like the same kind of like? Was it to you? Was it? How did you react to that? Did you react to it the same way you did the guys at the boardroom type of thing? Like, would you think it was virtue signaling or whatever? Or like you said, over messaging, I guess, was more your...
Yeah, I kind of, just because he said it.
I've heard guys say that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I just okay.
Guys are shitty. Guys are shitty.
I didn't mind it. The boardroom thing, that was the one where I was just like...
And I agree with
know.
you so much. And now, here's the thing. I agree with you...
But it's so inconsequential.
That no, it totally is. And I totally jumped on it and whatever. But the boardroom thing is. And the thing with the mansplainer is not. And it seems like to me that you kind of have the same kind of...
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the board... What I was getting at, that boardroom, regardless if it's a man or a woman, we've seen that cliche before, because she's working for like a corporate... You know, there's a bunch of rich white dudes laughing in a room. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, we've seen that before. The thing where he was being...
Well, they're probably
misogynistic.
laughing about like which prostitutes they're going to get for the next party.
Yeah. But I could see how they would say that him doing the whole situation where he's like, I'm going to go talk to it. I can see how that somebody could view that as over messaging.
I'm sure there is somebody out
but
there. You know there is.
My instinct was, I've never talked to anybody that talked like that. So I was just like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody be that obvious.
Let me make it clear. I've never talked to anybody that long who talks like that, but I've heard people say that. I've heard
something to that equivalent. Yes, I have heard that. Yes, some air quotes locker room talk. Yeah, I've heard that kind of talk.
For all you ladies,
not grabbing them by the pussy to the level of that. No.
But for all you ladies out there, there's a couple. There's like two levels of locker room talk. Basically, there's the stuff that you say that is clearly a joke and clearly like between friends that you know and you've known for a long time or whatever. And there's another level, and when you've hit that level, when you're hanging out with like, a bunch of guys and maybe somebody's newer and you don't really know them that well, and then they say something that they think is on the one level of locker room talk, but it's clearly on the next, and everybody just stops talking and they're like, oh, what?
Yeah. It usually has to do with like sexism or racism.
Oh yeah,
they get a little too cute and use a slur or something.
Or like, what's wrong with Jordan Peterson? That kind of thing.
Or they use this, or they use a slur or something.
And you're just like, oh, you're not invited to my next party.
Funny story. I had a situation similar to that because there's somebody that Tyler knew. We're not gonna name names, obviously.
No.
But it's someone that he knew who said that he's like. Because what's wrong with you? Tyler was on a rant, right?
Yeah, I was talking about Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro. And somebody I know was like, what's wrong with Jordan Peterson? And I was like, and I just put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, man, you just said a lot about yourself that I just don't need to know much else about you.
I had a situation similar. I've had it happen to me a few times, but I've had people mention Hunter Biden's laptop or something, and then I get stuck in a situation where, because I'm like, regardless of politics, I don't give a fuck about Hunter Biden's laptop. No. I just don't.
Not really.
Because I like to be politically conscious, but at this point, I'm politically conscious and I understand who I'm voting for and what I'm voting for. Mm-hmm. But anytime I'm talking about politics, it's to make fun of politicians because politicians are stupid.
Oh, fuck yeah. And they're all corrupt.
And we keep getting sidetracked. Back to S.H.I.E.L.D. I want to talk about a couple more things. I want to talk about Tim Roth coming back. I think he does a great job in the scene.
Yeah, he does. And he makes a lot of sense.
And it makes you kind of level with him, even though he's just going to turn into Abomination.
But
again.
he was given the super soldier serum, and in
he was trying to stop the Hulk. The
Hulk
military
was the menace. Circles, that was like the fucking golden, that was the hook, man. That was the thing.
But we also know he's not as innocent as he's saying, because we also know that he was the one who's like, Thunderbolt Ross was like, how do you feel? And he's like pissed off and ready for round 3. Like, I want more. I want to keep fighting this guy. Like that. You saw that when he kept getting it, he was like, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Gotta sneeze. And no, I love that he's clearly manipulating her.
Yeah.
But the fucking haiku bit, I love that.
That was so
funny.
fucking great, dude.
And then when she calls Hulk and he's like, "You wrote me a very nice haiku," I was like, that's a good callback. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I like that.
I'm a completely different person. Huh?
Yeah, and then the fact that she like looked at the camera, I was like, okay, at least Marvel. And then I'm like, all right, now do Don Cheadle. Do a Don Cheadle joke. No, I thought Tim Roth was great. And I'm glad he's back because I really liked him in The Incredible Hulk. People can have I don't think that movie is as bad as people say it is.
Which one?
The Incredible Hulk.
It's not.
It's not the best MCU movie, but it's
they
not
didn't
bad.
know what they were doing, and unfortunately, they pretty much wasted the leader. Pretty much.
Yeah, but I liked.
Thanks, Universal.
I liked Tim Roth as Abomination. He was good.
Dude,
in that.
that whole bit when she was walking up to the prison cell, the whole like bit was just awesome because then she's like joking around and he's like, "Hey, this is a fucking prison, okay?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Right."
When they walk through the lasers, she has to.
I'd be freaked out too.
And the
like,
fact that she has to transform back, he's like, "Hey, no superpowers."
Oh, right.
But yeah, the fact that she's like joking, he's like, "Yeah, this is a fucking prison with
I really
super
liked
villains."
I really liked when she first walks up to.
That was the raft, right?
Yeah. No. The raft is out in the ocean. I don't. That might be the vault.
It's not. Yeah, I think it's the vault. Because it's not. Because
I think that's what it's
Ravencroft
called,
is
isn't it?
Spider-Man, and so Sony has that.
And it's guarded by the guardsmen, these green-looking funky dudes. That stole Tony Stark's tech.
Yeah, but anything else you want to talk about?
I was gonna talk about something. Oh, I like the bit. I know there are gonna be people who are like, I'm tired of this, all this humor and blah. Like, I like the humor because it adds a level of realism to like. Regular
and it's
stuff.
and it's nice to see the MCU kind of poke fun at itself.
Right, but she walks up to the door when she goes to her first day at that new job, and the first thing she does is push when it's supposed to be pull.
It's
just a momentary thing.
A blink and you miss it gag.
But I thought it was great because it humanizes Jennifer Walters.
Right.
You know, she's like, I'm just because you can tell she's nervous. But we've all been in that situation where you're nervous, but you're trying to put your best foot forward, and no matter what, you still kind of make a fuck up or a blunder. It's not super huge. You kind of look around to see if anybody else saw it, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you trip or something, you know. We've all been there. And that humanizes her to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish there was a little bit more. I don't
Yeah.
mind that it's a little bit slower, and
I could have gone with another 10 minutes.
but I just wish we had a little bit more time, especially with her and Emil. As his name is Emil something. I can't remember his last name. But
What?
I wish Tim Roth's character
Emil Blonsky.
Blonsky. That's what it is. I wish they would have had a little bit more interactions. Maybe another scene.
We'll talk
between
about
them.
Abomination in my long box coming up.
No. We don't talk about Abomination.
Fucking hate you.
We're gonna explain what happened to his ears. Why his ears are like that? Because he didn't look like that in the Incredible Hulk. I want to know why he looks like this now. He
evolved.
Maybe.
The in-universe answer, he evolved a little farther because he took it again or something. The out-of-universe answer is Marvel knew that they fucked up the first time, and they knew, like, hey, if we ever bring this back, we got to put the ears on, bro.
I think he looked fine without the ears, but
No, it doesn't, because it's not the fucking comics, dude.
you
God
also,
damn
you also
it.
have to understand.
Oh, he's just a really emaciated-looking Hulk. That's the Abomination. That's not shit. That's a...
Don't fucking start with me.
Don't start with me.
Don't start with me.
Don't start with me.
Oh, who's Hulk gonna fight?
Who's
Gonna fall?
Okay.
Hulk gonna fight?
Okay.
A red Hulk, a blue Hulk, Sasquatch, fucking Thor, Hulkbuster. It's always the 5 same shit. Himself. If you're reading
in his brain.
if you're reading Donny Cates' run, it's himself in his brain in a spaceship.
It's fucking so cool.
But it's a cool series.
It's
dude.
such a
Smastronaut
cool-
is
Oh.
fucking bonkers.
so fucking neat.
I like Donny Cates. I'm just saying.
Did you read the first issue?
No, I read the whole trade. Because I think the trade's
Oh,
out.
you saw? Yeah. The part where he fucking like just rips his arm up and breaks his fucking arm off from those
and
adamantium
then puts
nanites.
it back on. Yeah.
No, and then Tony Stark is like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
dude, that is
It's Hulk as a spaceship.
I
That's
think
not the-
also I don't know if it was in there, but in Banner of War #1, which is they're doing that right now.
Because Donnie Cates is writing both.
There's a part where Thor they go to like this arena and Thor puts his hammer on Hulk on his back to keep him down. And fucking Banner in the spaceship fucking jacks the engine room up, and he literally just rips through Mjolnir like through his body and gets up, and Thor's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like shit.
Because he knows he can't kill the Hulk.
And he's also willing to hurt himself really bad because he knows he'll. Yeah, Hulk is.
Speaking of Hulk.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do? Okay, what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do Planet Hulk. I don't think they're gonna do World War Hulk. I think they're gonna do Planet Hulk and then World War Hulk.
Sure. You could.
I don't know how they're gonna do it this way, because I know that they borrowed.
No, here's how
Ragnarok. Well, I think we're on the same idea.
I got mine. You do yours.
Because Ragnarok takes a lot from Planet Hulk.
Sure, but not everything.
Not everything. But I'm wondering if this is how they're going to do Planet Hulk, is he's going back to Sakaar to fight them and be like, stop coming
to
after
help
me.
rescue. Yes, they. Okay, here's how.
So
yes.
my thing is he's going there to fight them off,
Right.
saying, stop attacking me. Or maybe that spaceship was he finds out that it was a distress call. Like they were asking him to come back to Sakaar.
That's exactly what it is. But here's why it leads into World War Hulk. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, how are they going to tie those together?
Because they know he's off planet, and while they're off planet, they're going to send him a message and say, I heard a rumor that in this next phase that the Sokovian Accords are going to make an appearance again. And it's going to be with Sword.
Civil War II.
No, probably not really.
Not
but
that.
It's going to be a source of contention again. So they're going to go ahead and ratify those or something, or reboot or redo them or something, or reintroduce them. And Sword will be created by then. And they're literally going to say, hey, Hulk is no longer allowed on planet Earth.
Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion would be their way to bring back the Sokovia Accords, because we already know that the Skrulls are inside Sword.
Right. And Sword.
Wow, Kevin Feige, give us a call.
Yeah. No, he's going to give us a call and be like, shut up, you assholes.
How'd you figure it out?
You fucking dicks. Yeah, but doesn't that seem like...
No, that to me would make the most sense.
Sword literally tells them, even though you guys are... He's an Avenger, you can't have him, or Damage Control will be a part of it too.
But how do you make the Skrulls the bad guys? Because they're not bad guys yet.
But that doesn't mean all of them are bad guys.
Wait.
Just the ones we've met.
True. And... could it be that they were still like, you can never trust a Skrull, right? So maybe
not in the comics.
Maybe they were pleading to Captain Marvel and Samuel Jackson because they needed them, and then the reality is, okay, they're cool with us. Let's bring more of us to Earth and then start the Secret Invasion. I just figured it out. Oh my God!
You got it. I
don't think they're gonna do that, but I think they should.
The Skrulls are gonna turn out to be dicks after all.
That's how you turn them heel. That's how you make them evil.
And because they're going to try and find a way to, like, She-Hulk's going to have to deal with this, because people, once the Secret Invasion stuff comes, once the Secret Invasion shit comes out, and that's how you introduce She-Hulk onto the Fantastic Four. We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
But yes, because the Skrulls are the key. They can bring
the Skrulls are green, right?
Yeah.
So everybody, that's going to be part of also saying, like, well, the Hulk must be a Skrull, whatever. Yeah. So they're going to find a way to, like, she's going to have to deal with this either being locked up or hunted or whatever. But, yeah, it'll go all the way to Secret Wars.
Whoa. We just figured out Secret Wars. That doesn't necessarily... Well, yeah, because the Skrulls are a big part of Secret Wars, so...
I don't see any of these right-wingers coming up with these brilliant deductions. You know why? Because they're too busy bitching about ladies.
Phase Boar and Phase No Guys.
MCU.
Phase No Guys and then Phase No Dicks. That's the next phases of the Marvel universe.
Hey Jake,
Marvel Cinematic Universe. MCU.
I know you're married to a woman, so you definitely like the ladies. I like the ladies.
Big fan of the ladies.
Yeah, I'm kind of just trying to figure out, why would you be so upset? You know what I mean? Like, you really don't want ladies, like, around?
No.
What's wrong with you?
Only white dudes are the leads.
I fucking guess, man.
All right, so that's it for our She-Hulk episode 2 review.
No, I thought it was great. I can't wait for 3.
Wish it would have been a little bit longer.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. We're pretty much of the 2 minds. And we also broke the next 3 phases open, motherfucker.
We just figured it out.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to say that my problems with the episode are really nitpicks. I think overall I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish it would have been a little bit longer. That's really all I wanted.
We're of the same mind, pretty much.
I also love the ending of it, just like finding out, like, okay, so this does take place after Shang-Chi because it showed this is
that was a neat way,
and I think that's how we're gonna bring in Wong next episode. It's gonna be good.
Yep.
And I just love the fact that the ending of it is her looking at the screen going, "Well, that sucks." Like that's such again that humanizes her because we've all had that moment where we look on something.
Did you see the
we
end
see
credits?
something in the news? Yeah, I talked about that. Where you see something on the news and then you're like, well, shit. Like, how many times have you seen that on Twitter or on TV and you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
You know? I do love the end credits scene.
It was this morning when I opened up my Google and I looked up one of the college football scores.
Oh.
And I was like, God damn, dude.
Fuck you. The end credit scene was good,
I love
by the
you,
way.
dude.
I do love that she did. No, I don't. Whatever.
I love you.
I'm just going to move past it. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. Fuck you.
Every week this year, you'll be able to say that to me about my Vikings. So
I love the fact that she's like, Dad, I appreciate that you hydrate, but this is a bit ridiculous. And she had all the water bottles.
She's got like 19 bottles of fucking water.
And she has to she's like lifting up the car with just her hand, like, because they need to work on a flat tire or something. It was a good episode. I just feel like it was a nice in between. Like I feel like they should have released the first 3 episodes maybe, right away.
I would say we'll see what 3 is, but I think at least the first 2 could have been okay.
Yeah, at least the first 2.
Yeah, you have
because you have the Hulk and the origin.
And then you have the second one, which is kind of and
then build to the next. Yeah, because I will say this is the only, other than maybe WandaVision, this is the only show that feels like a show.
Yeah,
other than just a really long movie.
Yeah, broken up by weeks.
Liked it, big fan. So let's talk about
the Easter eggs.
Oh. Well, first we saw Cap's ass on her phone.
Yeah.
Eternals was finally referenced. The big statue in the water. I was like, finally somebody said something.
By the way, the reason why I'm not. The reason why I'm kind of
burying the lead here.
The reason why I'm kind of moving past the Captain America's ass on the phone is because that's what I have on my phone.
Of course.
Doesn't everybody?
Who doesn't have Chris Evans' ass on their phone?
You know what? If you're a right winger and you don't have Captain America's ass on your phone because you think it's gay,
Nazi.
you're a treason. You're treason. Commit treason.
Liar. Yeah, and of course we saw a man in a bar with claws.
Right.
So Wolverine. I like that again.
I completely missed it, and then I saw like a Google thing on Screen Rant or something.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I like that they're giving slow nibbles of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. I like that
she's going to defend Wolverine in this series.
A couple weeks is D23, and I feel like we're going to find out more about Fantastic Four and X-Men at D23. That's just my guess. If I were,
I'm willing to bet that before this series ends, we will meet the new Wolverine. Maybe,
no, we're not going to see that.
And the new thing.
No, we're not going to see that. No. That's too big. It's big enough that we're getting Daredevil back, and maybe they said there's a lot of cameos. So
you don't think it's time for us to get like? Here's my thing. Okay, no. Hang on. Since Disney Plus started, and they've been doing all these shows and everything, every single motherfucking show has been the victim of when's the cameo, who's the cameo. What's it setting up? Da-da-da-da-da. We talked about this on the podcast, how it kind of sucks because we find ourselves, at least I do, I think you do too a little bit, we find ourselves in these mindsets.
No, I have a perfect mind. I never do
that. Especially like when we got to the end of No Way Home, okay? Got to the end of No Way Home, and I expected like a bunch of multiversal characters to make appearances because those were the rumors. All we got, and I say all we got, which is fucking spectacular because it was awesome. But all we got, again, such a bad way of putting it, but was the 2 original Spider-Men and a bunch of original villains. Like, that was still really great, but because I have that stupid mindset, I'm guilty of it too. But here's the thing, okay? You've been teasing us, Marvel, ever since Disney Plus debuted WandaVision. Now it's time for you to give me a full-on facial of cameos in this episode, all right? All right? You just been like this for like a year and a half.
Been edging for so long.
It's time to just spooge it out.
All right, so let's move on. So let's talk about Warner.
Don't you think? Disney Plus shows have to have the biggest blue balls ever. Just loaded up with cameos. Just
Do you want it on the face?
Huh?
Do you want it on the face?
Sure.
All right. So let's go from something to like to something we hate.
I just feel like,
Let's talk about the Warner Brothers Discovery garbage fire still rolling down the hill.
For fuck's sake.
So I don't know. I saw the rumor that they only have enough money to release 2 movies.
We talked about that a little
Black
bit.
Adam and Don't Worry, Darling. Which, Don't Worry, Darling, I could do a whole fucking episode on the drama behind that movie.
What the fuck is this? Don't Worry, Darling?
It's Olivia Wilde's movie.
Oh, who cares?
I do, because the drama's nuts. And you should care, too.
I heard about this.
We need more female directors.
Who got kicked off the movie?
Based on Shia, what he gave up.
Okay, he got kicked off, right?
He left, but she said she fired him, and he said he quit. And he shared receipts of, like, DMs and texts and a video of her pleading for him to stay on the movie. So clearly he quit, and she didn't fire him because there was some weird tension between Shia and Florence Pugh, and Florence Pugh was kind of like, I don't want to work with him.
Huh.
And there was scheduling conflicts with rehearsals and things like that, or whatever the case may be. While this was shown at CinemaCon, Olivia Wilde was served divorce papers from Jason Sudeikis because she was hooking up with Harry Styles. Because Harry Styles is the replacement for Shia LaBeouf. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. And can I just say...
Which I gotta say, this better be the best movie of her career for all this shit she's had to go through.
Let's hang on here. A movie with a title like Don't Worry, Darling. Is it Darling or Darlene?
Darling.
Darlene?
Ling! Darling.
Yeah, Jesus. I was asking if it was, kind of Darlene.
Because why would it be about Darlene?
No, I was asking first if it
Don't
was
worry,
Darlene, like, slang.
Yes. Yeah, because then...
But it's ing,
yes,
right?
Darlene.
I-N-G.
No, I thought you were saying Darlene.
I just have to say, and again, there's a lot of types of movies that I don't really care for. Period pieces, stuff that doesn't feature giant lizards. But I gotta be honest. This does not sound like a movie that has to be made. Maybe just cut bait and fucking move on. You think? Maybe it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. This isn't The Godfather. This isn't Star Wars. This isn't A League of Their Own. This isn't Hot Rod. This isn't a movie that has to be made for the human race to survive.
Hot Rod.
Got any other better movies to talk about? Those are, for me, the 4 best.
I don't know.
ever.
I don't believe that's true that they don't have enough money. It's fucking Warner Brothers. Of course they have money. I don't buy that.
No, I'm saying, like, with all the drama behind the scenes with people being replaced and whatnot, it's like, hey, just who cares?
Yeah.
It does not sound like a movie. They must have paid a fortune to get the rights to it. That's why they have to make it.
Well, I feel upset. I just feel bad for Olivia Wilde because...
I feel bad for all of you who work on that movie.
You don't even know what it's about.
Fair.
But because I want to see more female directors, but I feel like she seems kind of in the wrong here, and she seems like she's difficult to work with at some points. But I don't know. I feel like everybody in Hollywood is.
She's a woman.
No, I think everyone in Hollywood is difficult to work with. I was just look. The reason I bring this up is because that is what's been rumored, that the only 2 movies are coming out is that and Black Adam. I don't buy that. But because of that, movies have been shuffled again. Believe it or not, DC movies have been delayed once again. Shazam! Fear of the Gods and Aquaman The Lost Kingdom have been moved. Shazam will go on March 17th, where Aquaman was supposed to be 2023, and Aquaman is moved to Christmas Day 2023.
I don't give a fuck.
The Shazam one, I think, works a little bit better for them because they said the reason they moved Shazam from the December 21st date, it wasn't that they didn't mind competing against Avatar. It was because Avatar bought all the IMAX screenings that they wanted, so they wouldn't be able to release the movie in IMAX. And that's why they moved the date to March 17th.
Okay.
And Aquaman, they're saying that they don't have the visual effects done. Or I don't think they came out and said that, but that's the rumor, is that it's the visual effects that aren't working. Which, what are you doing?
Reading about what the stupid movie is about and why it has to be made.
We're not even talking about it
I'm
anymore.
still listening to you.
We moved on. But don't worry, darling. Why are you looking it up? Just so you could look at this plot synopsis on Wikipedia and be mad about it?
I want to know what the fuck
You just
is
wanna
so
be-
goddamn important that it has to be.
You just want to be right.
You know what? Here you go. Here's the premise that's
Oh, son
so
of a
goddamn important. Alice and Jack Chambers are a young, happy couple in the 1950s living in the seemingly perfect company town of Victory, California, which has been created and paid for by the mysterious company Jack is working for. Curiosity about the nature of her husband's work on the secret Victory Project begins to consume Alice, while cracks begin to form in their utopian life as her investigation of the project raises tensions within the community. Who fucking cares?
Sounds like it'd be a fun movie, honestly.
Okay.
I'd be interested in it. I watch other things.
That was really
superhero-
awful. The way, okay. Like, jeez.
Yeah. I think it's
You've
fun.
been a dick to me the whole show. Oh.
Well, I got mad at you because I thought you said "Don't worry, Darlene," and I'm like, "That's not the title."
Well, you got mad at me. But
I'm sorry.
I'm just hoping that we get a comment on this one where it's like, sounds like the couple's fighting.
I think it matters to Olivia Wilde. But anyway, I'm a little annoyed.
Fair enough. You're right. And you know what? We've been talking a lot about representation and everything, and you're right. I should be a lot more fair and say that this is maybe, like her, this is, the thing that she's working on that she really wants to get right and
Yeah.
and things might be falling apart around her. And I've been there, I don't dislike Olivia Wilde. I don't really care for her. I've never really seen her in anything.
Yeah.
But I do know that she cheated on her husband.
With Harry Styles.
You know what? So would I, Olivia. Fuck.
Maybe that's why you don't like the movie. You're such a Sudeikis guy. You're like, how dare she?
No, I'm saying, like, dude, if I was married to Jason Sudeikis and Harry Styles was like, Tyler,
give me some of that dick.
You want some watermelon sugar high? I'd be like, fuck yeah. Looks like I'm gay, folks. No. Because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's not a choice.
It's not gay if it's Harry Styles, I'm pretty sure.
And that's the thing, too. I think most my guy friends would be like, yeah, man, I mean, it's Harry Styles, dude. I mean, what are you going to do?
But, like, how long is this movie?
But still, she.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to talk about Aquaman. How long has this movie been in production where it's like we still haven't got the visual effects done? So my assumption is there's a lot of really...
I thought Aquaman, the first one, was a joke until I actually saw it. And then I was like, oh, they actually made that? Holy shit.
One of the dumber movies I've seen, but it's enjoyable.
Way to release that title and that shit to Entourage, you fucking numbnutses.
What?
Or was it Green Lantern?
What?
DC released one of their properties to Entourage so they're in-universe
Oh,
projects.
yeah, it was Entourage. It was Aquaman. But, I mean, it's HBO show, so wouldn't HBO already have it?
No, I'm saying, like, if there had been a question of it, like, hey, can we use Aquaman for this? I would have been like, no, go fuck yourselves. Your show is fucking terrible.
I'm just wondering...
And it's creating a whole generation of toxic assholes.
I'm just wondering what these visual effects could be that they're taking this long to get finished. But
is it just computer stuff, you think?
I think they haven't really said why they were delayed, other than because James Wan said at CinemaCon, he's like, I don't know if this movie's ready to be released in this time frame, which again really puts your confidence in a studio.
What the fuck are you guys doing? Just stop making movies altogether.
Here we go.
You guys don't know what the fuck.
No, they're not even going to do. Fine, don't make movies, but also don't make animated offerings because they don't like those either.
Oh.
Warner Brothers Discovery, as we found out earlier this week, had 6 animated offerings on HBO Max that they're passing on or shopping around.
Okay.
Merry Little Batman, The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, Bye Bye Bunny, a Looney Tunes musical, Did I Do That to the Holidays, a Steve Urkel story, and The Amazing World of Gumball, the movie, and then the big one being Batman Cape Crusader.
How the fuck can I get in on the bidding on that Urkel cartoon? I will literally create a streaming channel just called Tyler Streams Urkel, and it'll be
Did
on
Tyler
there
do that?
24/7. Just that.
It looked like it was, but I guess. Look, I fucking don't like this Zaslav guy because he clearly. I understand what they have been doing in a business sense of like they inherited a massive debt. They're trying to clean house and fix this debt as much as they can.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like you could do that, and there's some problem. Some of those projects that I read, you could argue should be cut, but I'm not here to say that because, like I've said before with this stuff with Warner Brothers Discovery, it's just you can't. I don't understand how they could be this far in debt where they have to just keep cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
I texted you the other day. What did I say?
Something about you
I'm
didn't
gonna disown DC. If they axe all these other things and keep the Flash, fuck you. I'm not gonna care.
I might have to make another podcast off panel off DC. Just talk about it.
No, I'll talk about the stuff with you, but I'm just saying
you don't want to give them money.
As a casual fan, which is where you all make your fucking bread and butter, and you know it. The more casual fans you get to come to your fucking movies, the better it is for you.
That's why you make it for a wide audience.
Right. But I don't go see DC movies in the theaters, and here's why. I don't need to for the last couple of years. And before that, I didn't want to waste my money. I knew it would be a month or two before it came out. I could read about the spoilers online and not give a shit because I'm not maybe as invested in the DC stuff as I am in the Marvel, right?
Right.
But even then, when I was invested in the DC stuff, I didn't care because it was like...
But see, that mentality right there is also another reason why they could argue, like, that's why we got rid of Batgirl, because it sucked.
Fair enough, but you know what?
We already have this bad reputation.
Sure.
We're trying to build that back.
Great, but you know what? I'm just not going to see anything you guys put out anymore. I'm just not. I just don't care.
Especially when, allegedly, they were aiding and abetting Ezra Miller because they filmed reshoots for The Flash in the summer. Allegedly. I don't have any proof of that. That's, that has just been a rumor. That's
how I can
out.
prove it?
Probably.
He's still getting paid. That's fucking...
They're still letting him do
that's
press.
First day law school, motherfuckers. Shit.
Yeah.
We had no knowledge of... Shut up, lawyer dude. Bring down the CEO. We got the tar and feathers. Come on.
And the really frustrating thing for me is I don't understand how one guy could come in and say, well, we've got to merge these two apps. We have to completely destroy the reputation of one of them.
What's that?
HBO Max. Because HBO Max, I feel like most people...
Oh, is that how they're trying to just make it HBO?
Well, no.
Or HBO...
Whatever the fuck they're going to call that Disney...
Yeah.
The Discovery Plus HBO Max shit. But, like, most people, myself included, would probably say that HBO Max is probably the best streaming app out there. I think the interface is great. There's a lot of great content on there from not only HBO, but all of their other Warner properties.
If you're talking about straight up, like, accessibility and stuff, HBO Max is one of the better ones.
And that's the main reason I have it is because it has all the DC, most of the DC catalog, pretty much all of the DC catalog.
The reason why I don't is because the shows that I usually watch are not on anymore, and I'm not huge into DC like you are.
And to see that they clearly don't care about animation, which is something that they always
I thought that was the cover to the Van Halen album 1984.
This picture of my child.
I know, but out of the corner of my eye, it looks like the baby from the...
But to be a studio that is known for its animation, Warner Brothers Animation has consistently been around, made money, and you could say those direct-to-DVD animated movies don't make a ton of money, but there's still myself included, a passionate fan base behind them. I love DC animated content. And then to see them just say, fuck it, and throw it in the bin and just be like, well, if we keep these, we'll still have these studios. And yes, a lot of those shows I mentioned are going to be shopped, and they're going to find networks, or they're going to find streaming services. But it's like, why would you get rid of something you already own? other than tax write-offs, other than being a business. It's like how can you look at something like Batman Cape Crusader that was going to have the team from the original animated series, which is regarded as one of the best superhero animated shows ever made, and also the same team that made the fucking Justice League Unlimited cartoon that's fantastic. And the Superman cartoon is great. Bruce Timm knew his shit and knew what he was doing. He had very rare misses when he's done this animation.
You remember what Jon Favreau did for Star Wars on Disney Plus? That's what Bruce Timm was going to do for your fucking
I've talked about on this podcast. They created a whole new Batman Beyond, and it went into the comics, and it's become a part of the main DC continuity. So these guys are a part of the DNA of Warner Brothers, and you're going to say, no, that's fine. We'll let it go to Netflix or Apple TV or whatever. And not care. It's like, how can you have that little regard for something like this who has fucking built you up?
Yeah.
Those shows on Cartoon Network were fucking ratings giants.
Hey, money in the bank. Make a Batman property.
And you know
money.
What?
It doesn't even matter if it's a cartoon or a movie or a TV show. Money in the bank.
You know what else? It's not just that. It's just like, okay, they're returning to this. And most of the people that grew up on that Batman show, seeing Bruce Timm and these guys work on this again, it's a chance, because most of those people, like myself, have kids now, and they can share that show with their kids and be like, this is the kind of Batman show I had growing up.
Yeah.
And it's not like this show's going to die. I just saw a report that it's getting high bids from Netflix and Apple TV Plus, Hulu.
It'll be played somewhere.
And it's like, they'll find a home, but it's like, how you're leaving fucking money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And you're continuing to destroy your reputation as a service. And I honestly don't know, other than maybe laziness because it auto bills, I don't even know why I still fucking have your app, because you've shown to me you don't give a shit about what I want to watch.
I got to be honest, too, and I've been telling you this for a couple of weeks. The fact that your big tentpole that you keep advertising is this shitty prequel series, man,
you know what?
Off,
I like House of the Dragon.
I know. Have you been watching it?
I watched the first episode. The second episode is coming out. We're recording this on Sunday, so by the time this goes live, I had already watched it, probably.
Yeah.
I might watch it.
Was it good?
I like the first episode.
You didn't want to just tear your eyeballs out and throw them on the ground, squish them under your feet?
I think it's a return to form after what happened with
oh, really?
Season 8.
You don't regard here's what I regard Game of Thrones as. A bunch of lucky seasons, and then the final season where they showed exactly what kind of artists they are.
Did you watch it?
Uh-huh. No, I didn't watch it last season.
Shut up.
I don't need to watch the last season. I heard enough about
It's
it.
George R.R. Martin's fault.
Okay.
He finished writing the books, and then he threw the fucking show writers
Weren't they not even like exactly?
He threw them under the bus. Because
they should be.
They went
fuck those guys.
They went past the books, and he said, allegedly he had given them the ending that he was going to do in the books, and they kind of followed that a little bit, and kind of went the way he went. And then he was like, no, that's not how I was going to end it. And it's like, well, fuck you, George R.R. Martin.
You know what? Fuck all of you.
Fuck all of you. Fuck all these guys.
Yeah, for real.
That many girls into our club.
Yeah.
We're just walking around on stuff, and we're just...
All right, this is the Grift Report, ladies and gentlemen. And since we were talking about Batman Cape Crusader, I figure...
Yeah, that sounder at the beginning doesn't really make sense. And especially, I can see some of the comments and where they're coming from, because we literally say, Mom, they're letting girls in her, And we're basically saying that,
Why are you describing the theme song?
I'm not. I'm saying, we're basically saying that only guys.
No, we will talk about a woman grifter today.
No, I'm glad. We're
As
given
I mentioned,
a voice.
Equal opportunity to be shit on if you're a grifter.
Yeah. No, if you're, yeah.
Because we got criticized that
we will shit on both men and women.
As we said at the top of the show, we got criticized because last week we didn't include that Star Wars girl's opinion on She-Hulk. And I've listened to her opinion on She-Hulk, and it sounds just like every other fucking grifter.
Isn't that the guy who talked about victim something?
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, whatever.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck
Heel
that
versus
guy.
babyface and that Star Wars girl had to talk about the Batman Cape Crusader news on Tuesday, I believe is when these videos went up.
What's the woke part of it that they're mad about?
I'll actually have it in the heel versus babyface clip.
Nice.
Because they
Let them dig their own
I just
hole.
want to point this out in a smaller scale of the Grift Report to just be like, this is all they need.
Yeah.
They will take one line from a PR event, from a sizzle reel.
Look, they're trying to groom.
Yeah. And that's the only little nugget that they'll need to build their narrative. Because almost all of these grifts are either built on a lie or a half-truth.
Yeah.
Where someone did say this, but that doesn't mean what they think it means. Just because you're saying, hey, there's just going to be, a little bit more diversity in the cast. That's not being woke. That's just saying that, like, hey, there's just going to be, diverse
we're
group
more
of people.
representative of the actual. We're more representative of the actual world that we live in.
So is your definition so slim on woke that if you say by any way that's saying that like there's people in it that aren't white, it's woke?
Yeah, that's
Like,
basically what
mean?
they're saying.
Because Heel versus Babyface in his video tries to be like, they act like
You mean this guy? The comedy.
The fucking comedy.
Did you make a?
No, I didn't.
Damn it.
That's the one. I was like, I think when I cut these clips last night, I was like, I'm forgetting something, and that's what I was forgetting.
You son of a bitch.
Think of the comedy.
Think of the comedy.
But he's trying to say that what Bruce Timm was saying in that clip and what the woke thing agenda whatever has been saying this whole time. They're acting like black people and people of color never existed in movies before now, and it's like, no, that is not.
Look at the statistics.
No, but even still, you could go back to the MCU that you guys hate so much. Mm-hmm. You only hate it now because there's more women in it. Because first 3 phases, I've talked about this on the podcast before.
All white dudes.
Until 2018, they were all white leads.
All white dudes.
And then they had a black lead in Black Panther and a woman lead in Captain Marvel.
And you guys couldn't fucking believe the fucking temerity of Marvel Studios to have a movie without a white dude front and center.
All that this whole woke thing agenda is saying that there are still an incredible amount of white leads. White leads are not going anywhere.
Right?
They're still going to be there.
Jesus.
They're just saying we want to see more. Like, all they're saying is, like, there's going to be a more diverse group of people. That's really all it is.
Hey, there's 2 non-MCU or DC-related superhero movies out right now. And one of them is called Secret Headquarters, and the other one is called Samaritan. I've
not seen Samaritan.
I have no interest whatsoever in either one of these movies, but they are superhero movies. Okay. Guess what gender and race the lead actor for each of those movies is?
Well, I want to say white
guy. Yeah, white guys.
White guys.
Yeah, they're still doing it. You fucking jerk offs. I mean,
anyway,
what the fuck?
Here's the first clip, and here's what. The clip that I have is what Bruce Timm says, and then Heel versus Babyface's reaction. I've cut out
Mr. Potato Head.
I cut out the part where he makes a joke about J.J. Abrams because you see a picture of J.J. Abrams.
We call them chips over here.
And he's like, "Speak of the devil," and he appears. I was like, "That's a dumb joke. Just move on." Yeah. The only editing I did on these clips, just so people know, I'm not taking anybody out of context. Most of the edits I did are clipping out breaks in his voice because this motherfucker is like the quartering and takes a long time to get to his point. And I'm not trying to make fun of his speech. I'm just saying he takes a lot of breaks. So all I did was like clip it up a little bit so it moves at a faster pace.
Sure.
The way we deal with the characters is going to be quite a bit more modern in terms of inclusivity, representation, things like that.
Inclusivity, representation. It's a little bit more modern.
Can't help himself, can he? He has to do the lispy voice.
The great lie that Hollywood have only just become inclusive and diverse, as if black people, women, brown people, Asians, gay people had never existed before. And the wonderful aspect of this, of course, is the reason why they didn't have representation was our fault.
White people. It was white people's fault.
So there's the made up lie about inclusion, representation, etc. And then there's the blame as if it was our fault. Okay.
Hey, buddy, look, nobody is actually out loud saying it's white people's fault.
Yeah.
But what they're saying is the people who empower and still are in power are white people.
Yeah.
And white people have yes, there have been movies with black characters in them before and in different representation of different groups before, but they were almost always the butt of a joke. They weren't taken seriously. There were sidekick, or if they were a gay character, you would kill them off because they were gay. I guess.
Yeah. There was never leads. I mean, and here, look, man. Let me just tell you exactly what you're saying, bro. Okay.
And then the fact that he's like, well, you're blaming white people. It's not white people's fault.
No, I'm blaming racists like you. And here's why I know you're a racist. Okay. Here's why. And I know,
Oh, he's gone mask off.
Here's why. You would tell a black child. First of all, I would never let you talk to a black if I could help it. For fuck's sake, I would never. If I could help that, you never.
The whites are at it again.
But you would say, oh, well, I know that it would be much more empowering to you if you had a black Superman, but you see, that's a fictional character, and we're not willing,
Yeah. And again, it goes back to my point. Listen back to what Bruce Timm said. I'm just going to play what Bruce Timm said, and I'll stop the clip. There we go.
The way we deal with the characters is going to be quite a bit more modern in terms of inclusivity, representation, things like that.
So that's all he's saying.
Yeah.
That's all he's saying. What did you notice how quickly he jumped off of that and jumped on the whole? It's not white people like they're acting like any sort of minority leads have just become recently, and then they blame white people when that's not the case. And it's like, how this isn't even about Batman anymore. This isn't about this show anymore. You just need an excuse to have a jumping off point. It's the same time when they think they're pulling up receipts on the gay agenda at Disney, when all that they were saying, their not so gay agenda, all they were saying was, we're going to have more inclusivity of, there might be a gay couple in the background, or there might be something,
I think the worst
trans
part
person
is that
in a scene.
These folks are literally, they're outing themselves by saying...
Yes. How are you upset about this?
No, they're outing themselves by saying, like, we all know with critical thinking that being gay or bisexual or transgender, we know because we're critical thinkers and we're decent human beings, that these are not choices that people just wake up one day and go, you know what? I've had enough pussy in my day, and now it's time to get some dick.
Hey, man.
That doesn't happen, okay? So... literally what's going on is that these people are saying that is what happens, because they're saying that the more gay stuff we put out there, the
gayer
more
everybody will be.
Right. And can I
but
just
they have
say,
no problem when it's straight stuff.
Can I just say, I grew up in the 70s and 80s where there was almost no gay representation in the media. I wasn't gay then. There's a lot more now. Still not enough, by the way. I'm serious.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. Hey, guess what? Still not gay.
Hey, look.
Can you believe it? How is that possible?
I saw two men kissing, and would you know it, I'm just like, I gotta fuck me a dude. You know?
Right? Uh-oh. Those two, it's implied that those two men had a relationship. Now I just gotta get...
Here's another clip that, again, sums up how little he actually cares. Like, he's trying to make this a win and make this a win for Warner Brothers. David Zaslav is getting rid of woke stuff.
He's defending Warner Brothers.
Yeah. So here's clip number 2.
Talk about a fucking shill, bro.
I feel like this just sums it up, because this is what he truly believes. I don't think this is a grift.
Words. Now, I mean, even then, they're just
talking
clear
about
markers
representation
that this is dead. This is dead already. Dead on arrival.
This show.
Because inclusivity and representation and diversity, these buzzwords which we use, we all know by now that these are just masking far left ideology, far left politics. That's all it's doing. That's all it's been doing for the last few years.
So...
Exactly. Few years, dipshit.
This is what I love.
Just proved our point.
He almost gets it. Because he calls them buzzwords. And they are buzzwords.
Yes.
But this is, we just said a little bit ago, widest audience possible. And the widest way the biggest, widest audience, the best way you're going to do that is do what Bruce Timm did and do a PR statement. That statement that he made, while it is probably true, it's just a PR statement. You're trying to get eyeballs on your project. Mm-hmm. So you say, yeah, we acknowledge pretty much that the last Batman the Animated Series and the other cartoons, they always didn't have the most diversity. So we're just going to have more diversity. Mm-hmm. it doesn't have to be this big thing that they make it out to be.
No,
They're the ones making it a big deal. Nobody that saw that or heard that news thought that show was going to be woke in any way.
Well, they did. I mean,
Normal people,
Sure.
people that don't need to make money off this shit.
Let me make this kind of analogy or whatever. Like, okay, I grew up in North Dakota. Okay, I literally did not hang out with somebody who was not white on a regular basis until I moved to Iowa. Okay, so now, okay, let's look at it from there. Let's look at it as if they're right. Okay, Jake, let's look at it as if they're right. There's a gay and woke agenda in Hollywood, okay? So what they're saying is, okay, so imagine I wrote a story, a movie about my childhood in North Dakota.
Okay.
Now, based on fact, most of the cast members, if not all, would probably be white.
Yeah.
Now, what they're saying is, okay, let's argue their side. Let's argue that somebody from Warner Brothers, comes up to me and goes, hey, you need to have some minority members in your cast for more inclusivity, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that would upset me?
No.
No. Well, you want to know why?
As long as it sticks to just...
Because it doesn't affect the story.
I've said this before. I feel like unless you try and make your story about a specific point of view and someone living in a like you would with Miss Marvel, or if the story is about a black character and their experience, make it be that way. But most people, when you write a character, you could put any gender or race attached to them, unless you make it a part of their character.
I would have no problem, like if somebody suggested.
That's what you're saying. Like whenever you see these kind of, when people bitch about race swapping and this, that, if being black or being like a Native American or an Asian, whatever the race may be, if that is not intrinsically tied to the character, why does it matter?
Exactly.
And
Warner Brothers comes to me. We want to buy your movie, make it the way you want it, da-da-da-da-da. Now, again, in my mind, because this is how it happened, I really, all my friends were white for first 6 years of my life or so, okay?
I lived in a mostly white area too.
Sure, but again, if I'm making a movie and they're like, hey, we got this great actor to play one of the friend characters, it probably even wouldn't be, because I wouldn't come into the project going, all my friends have to be white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But say I did.
Yeah.
And somebody came, hey, we got this great actor. He's going to play one of the friends, but he is, say he's Puerto Rican and not white. I wouldn't go, no way, man. No way. That's not my story.
Well,
I wouldn't.
Look at Percy Jackson's writer.
That kid
Rick Riordan
maybe gets his big shot.
Yeah. But like
I'm going to deny it because he's not. That's shitty.
Like Rick Riordan or Riordan, I don't remember how to say it.
Rick Riordan?
The guy who wrote the Percy Jackson books. Like we talked when we covered him and we talked about what he said. He's like, hey, I just picked the best best actors for the roles. So.
When I wrote my book and I rewrote it.
But don't say that you have diversity because you're woke. Here's that Star Wars girl talking about Batman Cape Crusade. By the way, these are like the only two.
I just call it being a decent human being.
Here's my favorite thing where we caught this grift, because I thought I was going to mine more clips out of it. I didn't, because really only two people talked about this, and it was that Star Wars girl and Heel versus Babyface.
Wow.
Were there other channels that talked about this and this going with this angle? Yes, but much smaller channels, and we want to punch up. We don't want to punch down or adjacent. We want to punch
adjacent.
Because
I want to punch.
I think they had more. These other channels I saw, I'm pretty sure they had more subscribers than we did or whatever. But they were a small channel.
Hang on, I just came over. Okay, keep going.
You keep nodding. It's great for audio.
When you're done, I got something.
Well, let's get to the next clip.
Ba 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 ba. I want to punch adjacent.
I'm not even gonna set up this clip.
I hate you.
Here's why that Star Wars girl thinks DC and Warner Brothers are failing when she heard this news about Batman.
They don't have any money. They're
Sorry, her mic's
bleeding freaking money because of all of these fucking weirdos that got a hold of these characters that they know absolutely nothing about, and two, that they don't even care about. All they care about is using these characters.
This is my favorite part.
Their, already established fan base to market their weird, twisted narratives and agenda. That's all they care about.
Hold
they don't
on,
care about
hold
telling
on.
good stories.
She's gonna stick the landing.
They don't care about making money. They don't.
I'm sorry. That was the last part I wanted you to hear. One more time. I was talking over it. I apologize.
It was okay.
They don't have any money. They're bleeding freaking money because of all of these fucking weirdos that got a hold of these characters that they know
starts
absolutely
no
nothing
money.
about.
Weirdos.
And
Starts,
two,
they
that
have
don't
no money.
even care about. All they care about is using these characters with their, already established fan base to market their weird, twisted narratives and agenda. That's all they care about. They don't care about telling good stories. They don't care about making money. They don't.
What?
So wait, you start the argument off with they're losing money, and then
because they're woke.
And then you end it with because they're woke, they don't want to make any money.
Yeah, because they don't care about.
So
they're
losing
doing
it?
woke things and ruining characters because they don't care about the characters. They want to push their weirdo, coded pedo is what she means.
Sure.
Weirdo narratives.
Yeah, way to just call everybody who's not white and Christian and hetero weird. What a fucking creep.
So she goes on.
You do know that's what you said, that Star Wars girl, right?
Yeah, she goes on to talk
gross.
about.
You're gross.
Talk about this show and saying that, like, it's unfortunate because Bruce Timm made all these great cartoons in the past, but now, he's working with J.J. Abrams, and J.J. Abrams is going to make it woke.
Did I apologize to J.J. on air?
Look.
After this,
Tyler, you're feeling. Don't apologize. If you don't like J.J. Abrams, you don't like.
No,
J.J.
but I kind of gave him some hate that he didn't need, and right now the right fucker, the right guys are going after him now, and I don't like that because I feel like maybe their
jumping off point for hating on this Batman thing is not because it's Bruce Timm. They still have to give the nerd cred to Bruce Timm.
Sure.
So they're blaming J.J. Abrams.
Of course.
And they're attacking J.J. Abrams.
And I don't need him to get any more hate that he hasn't already gotten. Now, yeah, you did fuck up Star Wars, dude. I'm sorry, you did. My dude, you fucked up Star Wars. You did.
So that Star Wars girl thinks that this topic deserves to be talked about.
But so did that Star Wars girl. She fucked up Star Wars too.
But
Star Wars fandom.
But here's the thing. So she thinks this is a topic worth making a video for. But at the same time, she doesn't think it's a big deal and thinks it's probably a good thing that Batman Cape Crusader was canceled because, well, kids don't really care about these kind of cartoons anymore.
They just don't care. They don't like any of this shit. Everything that they're talking about is like Fortnite, Legos, and the Lego TV shows like Ninjago, and then like YouTubers. They don't care about all of this woke bullshit that these demented adults are trying to force feed them. They don't give a shit.
I'm surprised she didn't mention MySpace.
Yeah. So she's pretty much.
You sound like the biggest fucking out of touch fucking idiot adult.
Hey, she's not wrong about
Fortnite and video games and bubble gum and condoms and football.
You
and
like Legos. So you're not
no,
a kid.
but she sounded like just an idiot, just fucking spraying shit she heard
My favorite
somewhere.
thing is how she caps,
fucking moron.
She caps it off that like only adults and YouTubers would want to watch this. So
you're a fucking YouTuber, you jackass.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all for the Griff Report. Yeah. So people say let's have
once again they just made them easy targets for us.
Let's have that Star Wars girl have her opinions on She-Hulk and whatnot.
Yeah.
I watched a video that she made right before episode 2 dropped. Okay. The clip for episode 2 came out, and it was the episode where she comes into the firm. That scene was released early. She spent a 10-minute video dissecting this scene. And she complained. She does what I do, as I said, I felt like it was a cliche. She's like, "Oh, of course, the white dudes are laughing in the thing,
yep.
So it's woke bad." She criticizes She-Hulk for looking at the camera and complaining that she got this job because she was She-Hulk, not because she was Jen. And she's like, again, before she sees the episode, she goes, "It's a superhero law division. Of course, she's gonna look like a superhero." And it's like. Clearly, you don't know the context of the scene, and you don't know the context of the episode.
But let me blather on endlessly about it because I think everybody needs to hear my fucking poopy mouth comes out with. I wish I had a better.
And so she spends this whole time saying that all Jen does is complain and nag in this one scene from this episode that she has not seen yet, and it's like your criticism is that you don't like that she's complaining and bitching, and it's like why you wouldn't if you work hard your whole career And then, another thing she says, she goes, well, if it's so bad, start your own firm. Start your own firm.
Okay.
And I'm like,
no,
does it anywhere in the show, does it say that
let's
she
boil it
has,
down.
does she have a lot of money? We don't know that. We don't know how much money she has in her show.
She does mention 6 figures of student loan debt.
And she literally just lost her
can't believe Biden got ahead rid of that shit because I worked hard my whole life.
And again, even before seeing episode 2, you don't know how much money she makes. And then if you would have waited to criticize the scene when the episode actually came out, you could actually view it from a different lens.
Oh my God.
And see that she just got fired a few days ago.
Right. And here's the other thing, that Star Wars girl. This is exactly what happens. You get hired, get a huge 7-figure deal for your YouTube bullshit, and you walk into the media company the first day, and the first thing they tell you is, I'm sorry, you can't call yourself that Star Wars girl anymore. You have to call yourself that Star Trek girl.
And you can't wear this you can't wear this outfit. You have to wear something.
You would
else.
lose your shit if that happened.
Anybody
and you
would.
dared. You're right. Any person, any human
take away
being.
gender. If I were that,
Right.
if I had to change into this, my Hulk form.
You have to change that Star Wars person. Let's really piss him off.
All right, let's move on. I'm going to skip a topic because we're running a little long.
Yeah,
anyway,
fuck 'em.
So,
Wow.
Because I want to talk about this more because I think this is a more interesting topic. I was going to talk about Matt Reeves' WB deal, but fuck him. I'm just kidding.
Fuck the WB, really.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Matt Reeves. So, Tyler, I don't know if you know this about me, but I would say about back in 2018, 2019, I was a MoviePass member. And let me tell you something. When it worked, when it existed, man, it was beautiful.
Man,
I was seeing movies.
I had chubbies for
I
days.
was seeing movies. So many
in
movies.
My head.
I saw, and you know the movies I most saw were the Rock movies because normally I wouldn't watch the Rock movies in theaters because he picks some strange movies.
Also, he has a
great example
contract that he never loses a
Great
fight.
example. It's in the middle of the afternoon. I got nothing going on. My buddy, I call him up. I say, hey, man, do you want to see Rampage? That shitty looking video game movie. He's like, sure. I go, you know why I'll go see it with you? You know why I want to go see it, buddy? Because I got MoviePass. And I took my MoviePass in there, I swiped that card, didn't have to bother about the ticket, got myself some nice refreshments, and watched that shitty movie. And I loved it. And I did it again. I saw Skyscraper, which nobody should see that movie in the theater, but I did because I had fucking MoviePass. It was great.
So tell
I
us,
loved MoviePass.
Why are you telling us
So what was
about this?
MoviePass? For those of you that didn't get a chance to experience MoviePass or dunk on MoviePass when it existed, it was a subscription service. I paid $90, I think, for 1 year, and they give you this little like debit card. That's what it works like, and you just would go. You would go on their app, and they would have what movies that you could get in with MoviePass, what showtimes you could do. You go in, you go, okay, then you get your tickets, do whatever. You go in, either, I can't remember, if, depending on, I think on the site you could just do it straight from the site, but you might have to go in and swipe your card to get your tickets, whatever. And so reality, you were paying a yearly fee to just see movies at a theater without actually just paying for each time you went to the movie. And, but the reason they tried to get, and I think at first it worked, because a lot of theaters got in on it because the theaters were like, okay, if they're not necessarily paying for that box office, they're going to spend more in concessions, which is true. Most of the times I got more concessions because I didn't have to pay for the movie ticket.
Yep.
And again, when it worked, it was fantastic.
What about them M&Ms? I'll take a couple of them too.
And my wife and I had it, and we enjoyed it. And while it worked, we loved it. And then another company got a hold of it and ran into the ground and kept trying to like lowball theaters and saying like trying to up their rates at certain theaters to be like, hey, if you this one place is gonna be cheaper. You know, they're trying to leverage the theaters against each other, trying to take cuts out of concessions and all that. Anyway, it didn't work, and it crashed and burned. But now MoviePass 2.0 is back, baby.
Ooh.
I'm in. So the reboot is being led by the original co-founder Stacy Spikes, who is the one who lost out to the company that took it over.
Spikes.
So this is from Axios. He told Axios that MoviePass can lead theaters' rejuvenation. Earlier this year, Spikes said he believes MoviePass can amount for 30% of U.S. ticket sales by 2030. during its peak in 2018, MoviePass, one of the few here, was responsible for 4% of the overall market share. And then AMC, Regal, and Cinemark, the three largest, biggest chains in the U.S., have each launched their own subscription-based offerings since MoviePass collapsed.
Well, way to go, MoviePass.
But we've seen...
Way to fuck it up.
We've seen that AMC is in trouble financially.
Yeah.
We've seen a bunch of these chains get in trouble because of the pandemic.
Why would they...
I think the pandemic and all the things that... I mean, granted, we're still seeing pretty good size
Could it be
numbers.
the shitty pay that they're giving their employees and the ridiculous hours and stuff?
Maybe.
Maybe like one benefit of a free movie a week isn't worth the fucking shit that I have to put up with people.
But here's why
I want popcorn.
Here's why
fuck you.
Here's why I think it could work.
Does that have anything to do with why they're losing money?
I think it could work because I think this is a great way to get people back into theater. I know that we have been, but it's still you're still seeing some effects of streaming. Where
I
you're
go
seeing
on Sunday, the weekend of an opening weekend, and I of one of our big movies that we like to do, the MCUs. Dude, there's not a lot of people. I mean, maybe half full, I think, is the most full I've seen.
Well,
but that's also a Sunday matinee, but the weekend it opens.
Well, I just think a lot of it is that people are just like, okay, 45-day streaming window. So I think a lot of people...
Fuck, I want some buttered popcorn right now.
I think a lot of people understand that streaming has changed movies in the sense that it could be like, well, I don't really seem that interested in Thor, so I'll just wait in a couple months when it's on Disney+. Or I don't want to see Lightyear. I'll just wait until it's up in a couple months on Disney+. Where this is trying to say, like, okay, so I don't have that barrier of entry of paying for my ticket. I could just take this card, go in, bada boom.
Fantastic.
And if I remember correctly, a lot of these theaters don't make very much money off the screenings themselves. Where they make all their money is concessions.
Oh, yeah. They don't make shit
so I don't
off
think,
the movies.
I don't think theaters really care that much or should care that much about losing the ticket sale because, again, they get such a small percentage that they have to pay out to the studios and everybody else and all that shit. I think I'm actually interested because I've also seen that it's going to be tiered. There's going to be 3 pricing tiers, $10, $20, $30. That isn't official, but that's where they're guessing. And they said, this is totally new to this new MoviePass. This wasn't in the original one. Each level will get a certain amount of credits to be able to use towards movies each month. MoviePass said nothing more in terms of details. And we'll find out because it's supposed to relaunch on Labor Day. So
Yippity fucking skippity.
I think, I don't know, man. I'm excited. I loved MoviePass when it worked, when I had it. The last movie I saw in a theater with MoviePass was the 2018 Halloween requel.
Wow.
That's what you call it.
What?
A requel.
What does that mean?
It's a sequel, but it's also a reboot.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's a
How am
whole-
I supposed to follow all these twists and turns?
Tyler, let's wrap up the show with a new segment that we were supposed to have last week, but we don't have a sounder for, so. It's the rumor mill.
Ah, my finger.
There's a rumor floating about that Henry Cavill's Superman is going to be in Black Adam. Do you buy it?
No.
I don't buy it either.
I don't buy it for a couple of reasons. One, DC and Warner have fucked with Henry
Everything.
Cavill so much that, I mean, why? I mean, I'm sure publicly he's like, sure, I would. But privately, he's probably told all of his friends, if motherfucking DC calls me again, I'm going to throw that fucking phone as hard as I can against the wall. You know what I mean?
He's gonna.
Wait, isn't he British?
Yeah. I'm going to throw it.
Listen, if DC calls me one more fucking time, I'm going to throw this fucking phone against the wall and shatter it.
Not even close.
What?
That's what he sounds like.
What does he sound like, this? Does he sound like
Could you imagine that massive size of a man just being like, my name's Henry Cavill.
Does he sound like heel versus Bay? If DC
Think of the fucking comedy
one more time
I'm sorry. I
with
blew
their
out his speech.
woke agenda.
I don't buy it either.
I don't either.
Tyler, it's time for the
fuck me sideways.
Tyler, you go first. I went.
Did you see I edited the document?
You went first last time, so I'm going first this time. Fuck
What?
you went first last week
Okay.
with Orville, the Orville, New Horizons.
Yeah, I guess.
Excuse me.
What the hell was that? I thought that was a fart.
No, yeah, I fart out of my mouth. Little burpee. So I originally had
I'll just fart it out of my
a different one, but I changed my mind because I've been playing this a lot. It's a video game, so now Tyler's going to...
Oh, for fuck's
There
sake.
it is.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I love the God of War series on PlayStation.
Did you talk about this last week?
I talked to you on the phone about it.
Okay.
But I didn't talk about it on the pod. I played this game for a long time. I played it on a demo disc, the original game.
Say on a dare.
I played it on a demo disc back in like 2006, before it had already come out and everything. Then I finally played it right after God of War 2 came out. I love God of War 2. I love God of War 3, so I really enjoy this franchise. I've been playing through God of War, the new one that came out in 2018 for the PS4. I've beaten that game 3 times now, and I'm going through and trying to get all of the trophies in the game and do all the side stuff. And I was telling Tyler this. This shows you how much I enjoy this game, because there's times when I get to a breaking point where I want to just freak out, and then I just quit playing. I set it down for a few minutes, and then I pick it back up, because that's how much I love it.
It's like how I make my music.
And it's someone who's played the whole series. Now, I haven't played every single game because there's a bunch of prequels and in between games I don't care about. Like, I played the main trilogy a bunch. I played this game a lot, and it's one of those things where I know I love it because there's just moments that I think about in that game that I still get giddy about. Well, like this game, you spend most of your time early in this game with a new weapon, because usually you had these big long chains that had blades on them, and you'd swing them and you'd do all these really cool things with them. And this one you have this axe, but it's like Thor's hammer. You can throw it and then recall it.
Thor's weapon.
Thor's... Oh, shit. I don't even have it up.
Oh, I don't know why it's British.
Thor's weapon. I'm worried it's going to...
Is he going to play?
No, because it's going to play an ad. See, now it's playing an ad. I don't want the ad. That's what you get for getting free apps.
Yeah, he fucks.
No, but you can... and it, you'd think the novelty would wear off, but it really is like... Oh, I don't even have it on here, son of a
Fucking
bitch.
piece of shit. Do we have
it's like
Tiki Watiti?
It's not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like...
Tiki Watiti.
But you can... So the game is designed where you can throw it, and then you press the triangle button, and it calls it back to your hand. You would think that would get old, but it's still fucking cool every time you do it. Because there's a part in the game that I want to specifically talk about, and then we can talk about your thing. Your son...
Give me one more second, then it's your turn.
The son character you're with gets sick, and you have to take him to Freya...
An apothecary.
And she's going to heal him, but she's like, you got to go to Helheim. And she's like, no weapon that you have in this realm you can use to fight. From this realm, you can fight in Helheim. And it's like, I've got to go home. So then he goes back home.
I'll take a shit
and
before
dude,
we go.
Again, playing through this a third time, I'm still sitting there being like, this is amazing. Because it's such... The first 3 games are so fast-paced and bloody and gory and in your face. And this game takes its time and giving you really good moments. So like Kratos gets on this boat that is going to take him back to his home, and he doesn't have... It's a magical boat where it'll go right to his destination. He doesn't have to paddle it or whatever. And he's literally just sitting there, and there's no music, nothing. It's just sitting there. And then you start to see like thunder and lightning, and you start to see all the things get darker. Like you see the mood changing. And then in the boat is Athena, who has been with him throughout the Greek story, and she's like this other entity because she sacrificed herself, and she's sitting in the boat, and it's just him staring at her, and he just get out of my head, because you don't know if she's really there or not, if it's in his head. And the scene caps off where you go back and you find the fucking blades from the first 3 games under the floorboards, and he takes them out, and then you see him just slowly wrapping the chains back around him. Because these chains were burnt to his flesh when he was bonded to Ares of the games.
Whoa.
But that moment is just, as someone who loves those games, it's so great because he's slowly putting it on. And she's like, you'll never be more than a monster. Not a husband, not a father. And it's such a raw moment, and he just goes, yes, but I'm your monster.
Man, it's kind of like
Let me finish. You're stomping on it. 3 seconds. Forget it.
No, Finish.
No.
Don't do that. Don't go. Don't fucking do that. Finish.
No, it's great because he says, I'm your monster no longer. And then you go out and you use the blades again like you would in the old games. And it's like such a cool moment and a nice callback to say, like, hey, those things existed. Those things happened. But this is his story of growing as a person. It's just really cool. I like it. Like it a lot. Big fan of it. So what do you want to talk about?
It's kind of like on Obi-Wan when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan meet up again. Kind of like, wow, I'm so invested in these movies. It's such a cool.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I'm so giddy that I get.
Oh yeah, now it's cool.
I'm so giddy about a weapon. You know what I mean? Tyler, tell me about your life.
Maybe you can understand why I love Darth Vader so much. You fuck.
You didn't kill me, Obi-Wan. Why did I make Bane?
Right.
You didn't kill me, Obi-Wan. I did. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. The healthcare system did.
Zing.
I've been working out some stand-up. How's that? Good.
I might be leaning a little bit too left.
It was funny for you.
Oh, shut up.
We will give Gotham back to the people. Yeah, okay, I'm done.
Fuck, man. You done?
Tyler, what do you have in your long box? People can clown on that voice, but I love that voice.
The bat. Gotham.
Take back your city. I want to get that as a drop.
Right.
Me saying it or Tom Hardy?
I recently went to Jay's the other day and sold some Lego sets.
Son of a bitch.
Wow. You're so pissed. What? You did what?
I'm sorry. Continue.
God damn it. I do that on a regular basis. It's a good way to afford my Lego thing because they'll take sets because I like the minifigures, so I'll keep the minifigures, but they will buy the sets. And I get, not a lot of money, but it's, great space and all that other shit. And I brought them in there. And while I was kind of wandering around while they were taking a look at all my, because it takes forever for them to figure out.
Well, they got to storage it and all that.
Well, no, it takes them forever to figure out how much they want to give me, which is fine. Take your time.
And you're like, it better be
$1 million, bitch.
Sorry.
There's nothing like selling 7 sets and being like, we can give you about $100. And you're like, cool. And then 2 weeks later, you're in there and one of your sets is being sold for $100 and like, you fuck.
Oh, yeah. That's what it was like when I used to trade my games
of course.
At GameStop.
I'm not doing it for money. It's generally more to make
Just
space.
Make space, yeah.
Because those fucking things will fill up fast, dude. Anyway. But while I was walking around, I hadn't bought comics in a long, long time, but 2 of the series I was really interested in. Peter David did the Maestro trilogy, if you will. And the final part of the trilogy was World War M, which leads directly into Future Imperfect, by the way.
Yeah, because Maestro that was all prequels. There.
Well, the three series are the stories of how the Maestro becomes the Maestro.
And that's what's weird is because Future Imperfect came out in the 90s, and then he came 2020, wasn't it, when he started this new prequel series?
He's also next year he's going to do a new one about Joe Fixit, which is going to be great.
Peter David just loves the Hulk,
dude. Wouldn't you? Anyway,
wouldn't you love that big green
the
bitch?
last I had read the first 3 issues, and then I hadn't, and they're all 5-issue miniseries. So right. I needed the last 2, and I also got 3. I had only read the first 2 issues of the new Punisher series, so I got 3, 4, and 5 of that too.
Is that Jason Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's where he's the hands. The fist of the hand.
His new logo.
Yeah. It's pretty badass. Anyway, so that was cool because not only did I get some cash, but I also got some comics. But I finally got to finish World War M, and I hate. This is what I hate. I hate it when you give me a miniseries and you say, "Hey, this is who draws it," and then the last issue of the miniseries, it's some other Joker. Why? Oh, because this guy didn't finish in time. Why did you tell me you had a series that is not time sensitive, like a prequel to Future Imperfect? Why did you do that and give him a fucking deadline? Why?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Now, the last issue of the series looks completely different than the rest of the series, and it's fucking jarring.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's irritating.
That's one thing I've always hated about monthlies. when it's an ongoing series.
Right.
Because I feel like there's times, and look, I don't really have, like, rarely do I think art looks bad in a comic.
Right.
Rarely. But there are times where I really like a certain artist style, and then to see it change in the next issue while I'm like reading a monthly, or if I'm reading a trade and they change the artist in the middle of it, I'm like, ugh.
So what bugs me is that, like, I've seen this before, like back in the day, X-Men number 200, which was the trial of Magneto, and it basically changed the status quo of X-Men forever because they killed Professor X. He actually went to space, but then Magneto took over as the headmaster of the school, and it was basically changed the status quo.
This is post-Hoxpox, right?
Oh, this is like... Oh,
this is like last year,
like
wasn't it? Or something like that?
No, I'm talking about like way back in like 86.
Oh, because they did a new trial of Magneto recently.
Right. I forgot about that. No, it was just a one issue. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the whole trial was that he had been reduced to infancy and then forced to grow up again. And his legal team was arguing that since he had been effectively born again, literally, he shouldn't be held for his crimes when he was an adult the first time.
Huh.
It was interesting. Anyway, but John Romita Jr. had been drawing X-Men forever. And this was like a 48 issue, spectacular. And he's doing a monthly thing. By the end of that issue, you can tell like there's other inkers and other finishers and everything coming in to help him finish the book because he's been doing a monthly forever, for like years. And then he caps it off. So naturally, the next issue, I knew, and my brother knew, and every other comic book fan knew, the next issue was going to be a guest artist. Totally cool. Give the regular guy a month off. But here's another issue, is Infinity Gauntlet. The whole big deal was it was Jim Starlin and George Perez return and reunite again. Perez did 2 issues, and the rest was Ron Lim. Mainly because Perez worked, he just recently left us, but Perez worked on a lot longer of a time frame than other artists do.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean his art was necessarily better or worse than others. It just meant that you had to give him time.
Yeah, because his art was, oh man, dude, Perez's art was...
He was known for wanting to and clearly including like multiple hundreds of characters in one scene and being able to do it. Like you could take a magnifying glass and like everything is perfect.
Didn't he work on Future Imperfect?
Yes, he was Peter David and George Perez were.
When you go into like Maestro's lair in that story, it's like this is clearly because it's a 2-page splash of just Easter egg after Easter egg and all this stuff that you don't think could fit, and you just like.
And here's the thing,
you kind of marvel at it because you're like, how can he do so much on this page? You know,
right? And here's the thing is that I wasn't like mad about it, but it kind of was kind of like, why did you tell me this and now it's this? It just bugs me. So if I have one criticism of it, it's the fact that the first 2 prequel series were same artist, and then this last one, the last issue is, and each prequel series had a different artist. So it's not like there was one guy doing like 12 issues and like, hey, I need a break. No, it was, you know what I mean? So there's really no reason for this guy, whatever. Anyway, it just bugs me.
It's just kind of jarring sometimes when you're reading and you're seeing one artist's style and then it's completely changes in the next issue.
And then the end of issue 4 is the epic finale. Next. There was nothing epic about it.
You didn't like the last issue?
You want to talk about a whimper and not a bang? Holy shit, dude. Like what a anticlimactic ending to the whole. You gave me 3 prequel series of 5 issues, 15, almost a year's worth of content to lead up to this.
That's unfortunate because I really liked his Maestro stuff.
I'm sure, but literally, if you're gonna,
I'm sure you did, you son of a bitch.
But if you're gonna tell me it's an epic finale, don't make it like, oh, he actually uses his brains and outsmarts everybody.
That's what Maestro always does.
That's fine, but that's not epic.
See, now I would love to see Mark Hamill.
Well, the way he gets...
I would like to see Ruffalo's Smart Hulk become Maestro.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be really fun, actually, with the fucking hair and shit.
Yes.
Okay, I will say this: the way he disposes of his enemies, finally, is pretty epic.
I gotta say though,
but it's still kind of like it's still really cheap. You know,
it would be hard to top Future Imperfect's ending because the fact that
did you just say pubic and perfect?
Perfect pubic
future
imperfect pubes. No, because like the ending where he uses fucking Dr. Doom's teleportation door to send Maestro back to where he becomes the Hulk and essentially pushes, like Bruce gets out of the way of the Gamma launch. Yeah, just like I don't think you would ever top that with Maestro. Even with a prequel series, it's like that was one of the coolest endings to that storyline of being like Hulk uses Bruce Banner to go, outsmart him and go back in time and stop him ever from being created. It was such a cool ending.
Yeah.
I also loved in that fight, in that book, neither of them can lift Mjolnir. They both go for it.
I can't believe we're like been talking for like 2 hours.
I could talk dude.
It's all the dick jokes.
I love Maestro. I could talk about Maestro forever. You were the one who told me there's so many more layers to Hulk. Because the movies recently we're seeing more of an arc of his character and dealing with that. But like there's so many different versions of the Hulk.
More than any other superhero, largely the Hulk, his mutation, his superpower, whatever you want to call it, is of the mind. There are splinters and layers, and there are so many ways. Like, dude, I can't.
You just talked Joe Fixit. You talked about it earlier.
Joe Fixit. But what Donny Cates is doing now, I would have never even thought of something like that.
But it works because you could do that with the Hulk.
Right, and it's so like, wow.
Smastronaut is insane.
Oh, so cool.
And then Banner of War.
He made Hulk into a space. What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Banner of War is ridiculous. There's a Thor Hulk. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yes.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I know, because there's a whole thing in Smastronaut where, like, everybody has a Hulk, and then that's where you get into...
I didn't make it that far. I stopped, but...
Well, he brings back...
I read about it.
He brings back Clue, which is Hulk backwards.
Oh, yeah.
It's the big, huge, like, horned, black-skinned Hulk.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a demon-looking Hulk.
Yep.
But that's the thing. That's what I love about the Hulk. I feel like a good Hulk story does a great job of talking about Bruce and Hulk and because you think honestly, Hulk is a character that's DID for sure, and that's always what's been about. So like the Joe Fixit thing makes sense. The Smastronaut thing can make sense because it's different splinters in Bruce's Immortal Hulk. I mean, like Immortal Hulk is based on the Demon Hulk.
So Joe Fixit isn't actually a splinter. He's just the Gray Hulk.
Oh.
He just called himself Joe Fixit because everybody thought the Hulk was dead, and he wanted them to think that.
Yeah, and
so he hid out in Vegas and was a mob enforcer.
And the Immortal Hulk was Devil Hulk, which is a whole
Devil
thing.
Hulk appeared in Immortal Hulk.
That's where it comes from, though.
Right?
But Immortal Hulk is supposed to be the Devil Hulk personality.
No.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So during that run, there was a point where Joe Fixit actually became actually took over Banner's body, and so Banner was walking around with Fixit's personality, Gray Hulk's personality. And then there was they did all sorts of weird shit.
They did a lot of weird stuff with Hulk, and I kind of love it.
Immortal Hulk really fucked with the status quo a lot. Yeah, there was
the Green Door.
Yeah,
don't open the Green Door. That's such a cool series. I love Immortal Hulk. So Tyler, I think it's time.
Except for the racist artist.
Yeah, that's a problem.
There you go. There I go, throwing that R word again.
The racist one.
What is this?
This is our outro music.
Oh.
It's not it's the what's in your mouth, what's in my mouth music.
So we can just play this and just go out and have a smoke?
Well, I mean, like, this is our way to say, hey, the show's in.
Oh, yeah, bye.
It's us winding down.
No, I'm wound up.
I can tell. You're sleeping on me. Tyler didn't have a nap, and now we're starting to feel like crap.
Oh,
see?
Nice.
Yeah. Well, we said last week, everybody love everybody. So
everybody love everybody.
Be a good dude, and everybody love everybody.
Yeah, $10 in your hand isn't that great if everybody thinks you're a piece of shit. Write that down.
It takes no money to be nice to someone.
Fucking A, man. You know what else? It's real easy to be a dick. It's easy to be like, I hate you.
Another poster. Hang in there. feel like we're just giving out advice that you could find on a poster somewhere. We're
You-
like the little kitten on the wire.
You got it, baby.
The song's still going. I thought it would have ended by now.
Like,
but, you know.
oops, and there's like the baby with like the spaghetti on its head.
Excelsior.
Everybody makes mistakes.